The late, great coach Vince Lombardi, probably the best football coach in the history of American football, a master strategist and tactician, and also a very wise man. You may have heard the quote. It's his. Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. Kind of brings to mind somebody who's been in the news lately, huh? I'm sorry. You know, I had to do some thinking about this. I wasn't expecting yesterday to happen, quite frankly, but it all makes total sense. And what I saw in that press conference, when you really look at it, you see all the reasons why he failed, utterly, catastrophically. Matt Gaetz, I like him. I've always liked him. And yeah, he doesn't have many friends now, but you know what? Since when is popularity the key to success? I'm sorry. I mean, the American spirit, we are independent. We push boundaries. We throw tradition away. That's why we came here, right? Who remembers the great movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which I got to admit, I've never actually seen or sat through the whole movie. But it's Jimmy Stewart. And of course, he goes to Washington and they try to frame him and he gives an impassioned speech and the whole city is against him. The entire establishment, the swamp, against Jimmy Stewart. Now, the situation that he was in is not entirely analogous to what we saw yesterday in the House of Representatives, but I admire that. I admire it a lot. Independence. I admire what Matt Gaetz did. I'm sorry, I just do. And I recognize that there are really serious people out there who are panicked right now and don't think that any of this should happen. Let's point out, though, Kevin McCarthy is going to be just fine. This is how they treat former speakers in Washington, D.C. Paul Ryan, remember him? Not only does he have one portrait of himself, not only does he have two portraits of himself, he has three portraits hanging in the Capitol for being speaker and for being in charge of various committees. These people take care of themselves excessively well. It's like they're kings and queens. And I think that mentality is kind of why Kevin may have gone into the business of politics. Now, he says he understands the problems, and what he's about to say now is a very serious problem. We would all agree. But listen.
The thing I would tell everybody is more Americans are dying on the southern border than are dying in Ukraine. Each and every day, a plane of Americans crash from fentanyl. And I don't understand how the White House continues to ignore it.
That's a real good question. But he is in a position, a unique position, to throw away tradition, to throw away all the customs and all that stuff that you guys get obsessed with, and just go for it. Think out of the box, do something drastic. Defund this, defund that. Because he knows the scope of the problem, but he's scratching his head about where Joe Biden is. Watch.
When was the last time you spoke to President Biden, and do you expect to now?
You know, I was thinking about that. It's been a long, long time. I couldn't remember when I spoke to him last.
You're the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Are you waiting for him to call you? Badger him. Show up there with the entire Republican conference. Demand to see him. Do something. Do something big. Do something bold. But I think he just kind of wanted to enjoy this job. I'm sorry. I know he's a good man, but look at this scene today from the border area. And he's wondering why his phone isn't ringing from Joe Biden. He's wondering why the administration isn't doing more. This is an emergency. And he's playing politics as usual. I've never been a big Kevin McCarthy fan. The big thing for me, as you may know, January 6th, and so many people who didn't break anything and didn't hurt anybody are being persecuted and prosecuted by the federal government. And that Capitol Hill officer, Michael Byrd, who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed woman, no police department in the civilized world could justify this shooting. Some would call it a murder, including me. That officer is still on duty with a gun, and he's been promoted. And when then Speaker Kevin McCarthy was asked about this completely intolerable situation, this was his response.
One of the first things Marjorie Taylor Greene said from the oversight dais was that Ashley Babbitt was murdered. Do you think Ashley Babbitt was murdered, or do you think the police officer who shot her was doing his job?
I think the police officer did his job.
Just like that. Why did he say that? That's not true. It's provably not true. Because he's got a bunch of Capitol Hill cops driving him around. What's up with that? So that's my beef, and plenty of others. Very much a career politician, and I'm sorry, these guys who stay there for a long time, what are they motivated by? And they exaggerate all the time. And he was doing that in his last press conference, or first press conference post-speakership. I saw what a career politician this guy is, right up there with Joe Biden in terms of the embellishment.
I've always been excited that I've been a happy conservative. But I've always believed that I've been so fortunate to be an American. My journey to this office was something people wouldn't understand.
Try us, Kevin McCarthy. We're not going to be able to understand this story.
I grew up in a town of Bakersfield, California, the son of a firefighter, the grandson of immigrants. Parents worked hard, the youngest in my family.
That's almost exactly my story, except my father was a cop, not a firefighter. We can't fathom this story somehow. Next.
I opened my own business, selling sandwiches. 3 things I learned. First to work, last to leave, last to be paid. I wanted to finish my college degree. At that time, no one in my family had finished a 4-year degree. I did pretty well. I now had enough money that I could pay my way through school as long as I went to Cal State. So I sold my business.
Well, that's beautiful, but that's the end of his private sector experience right there at the age of 20. And he learned those pretty valuable lessons, but that's it. At 20, he was doing really the best work of his life, in my opinion. He seems to think he's king, that he rose to this position. It shouldn't be that way. You got to be serving the guy who actually makes sandwiches all day long. It should be thought of that way. Next.
So I sold my business, going to school. I opened up the local paper and said, be a summer intern in Washington, D.C. with my local congressman. I did not know this man, but I thought he'd be lucky to have me, so I applied. And you know what he did? He turned me down. But you want to know the end of the story? I got elected to a seat I couldn't get an internship for. I ended up being the 55th Speaker of the House.
Wow. Makes it sound like the political establishment rejected him. He didn't get the internship, but his first job out of college was working for that congressman, a guy named Bill Thomas. This is what I mean about the exaggeration. He worked for a congressman for 15 years, his first job out of school. There he is, happy together. That's great. But trying to tell us that you got the shaft from the congressman's office and you beat the odds anyway isn't quite accurate, is it? And then this.
You know, to paraphrase Lou Gehrig, he said, I might have been given a bad break, but I truly still consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth. There's no other country that you could rise to be the 55th Speaker, not get an internship, and be able to fight for the American public. So it was my greatest honor.
It's beautiful, yes. But you see, rise from just being a working person to being a public employee, a politician. Rise. I don't like that, because they rise to this place of like pseudo-royalty with fleets of cars and aides and offices all over the place, and these hideaway offices and district offices. And then there's this.
I got a new portrait in there, too, of Teddy Roosevelt. You all know the man in the arena One of my favorite parts of it, who errs, who comes up short again and again, but there is no effort without error and shortcoming. Who spends himself in a worthy cause, who knows the triumph of high achievement, and if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly.
All right. I hear that poem. I hear this thing a lot from Teddy Roosevelt, great man, great president. But it's really an ode to politicians. Politicians love reading this poem because it celebrates them. This is the part of the poem he didn't read. Next, please. It goes like this. The next line. He achieves greatness or tries for it, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Cold and timid souls. I've never run for office. I'm not going to run for office. Most likely, you're not going to run for office. Most people, what do we want to do? We want to provide for our families, right? We want safe schools, safe streets, safe cities. We want low taxes. We want to live our lives, relax. But look at how they view us. They're the men in the arena. You see where we are on the sidelines watching them. This is a poem of arrogance. Look at us. We're special. We're in the arena. We're in the stadium. We're stars. I don't like it. Teddy Roosevelt, great guy, but that is a favorite poem of politicians in the arena. Congratulations, you got into the arena. And your prize, multi-million-dollar book contract probably coming for Kevin. He was joking about that today. Don't forget the portraits. And Kevin, I'm sorry, this guy does not understand politics. I would never have made this mistake. You wouldn't have made this mistake. Nancy Pelosi, hello? Who would ever trust this person? I mean, who would ever? Would you? I'll admit, she was good to Democrats. I mean, take a look at this. Some guy is in her office for 5 minutes with his feet up on on her desk. He's going to jail for 5 years, federal prison, Big O Barnett. These people show up almost every week on the right at McCarthy's office, take it over, yell, scream, put out their big banners, and nothing happens to them. They might get a parking ticket. What's going on here? You got to have a toughness. People have to be a little bit of afraid of you when you're a leader, and they're not of Kevin. And Kevin says he was let down by Nancy Pelosi. Imagine that, huh? Tells a story of how he was trying to get rid of that rule where just one person could start the process to oust him, and Nancy has something to say about it. Check it out.
Interesting. It was in this room after we had won the majority. I had become speaker last, and Nancy Pelosi came to me. She was speaker at the time on the way out. And I told her I was having issues with getting enough votes. And she said, "What's the problem?" I said, "They want this one person can rule you out." She was the only speaker to have changed that rule. I had the power to call the vote on her, but I never would. I lost some votes because of it. And she said, "Just give it to him. I'll always back you up." I made the same offer to Boehner and same thing to Paul, because I believe in the institution. I think today was a political decision by the Democrats.
You see, Pelosi let him down. Pelosi. He wanted Pelosi to save him. He was counting on Pelosi, but Pelosi went back on her word. You know, instead of, basically, let's face it, he doesn't really like Trump, right? Trump was a hassle and a headache for these career politicians. You should have listened to him. This man, amazing insight, wisdom that 1,000 careers in politics would not provide the conventional person. But take a look. This is a story that, Kevin, I wish you had listened to.
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you." The border. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. I have saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Right? Kevin, what were you thinking? Anyway, if you think I'm being too hard on Kevin McCarthy, I'm not. All right, he's going to be just fine. People get fired every day, and they don't know what they're going to do. He's got multi-million-dollar lobbying jobs to choose from if he leaves Congress. He's got a book deal. And yeah, he's going to go back to Congress to get 1, 2, maybe even 3 portraits of himself. I don't have one. Do you? Good luck, Matt Gaetz and the others. We'll be right back.